All right, Fresh. Let's go to the Irrational Confidence podcast. Favorite state in the entire country. These two fan bases have been one of the most supportive of us all year long. We've had a lot of great support all year from a lot of different fan bases, but we love it. If you're a Kansas fan, if you're a K-State fan, leave us a comment. Talk some smack to the other side in the comment section here. You know why? Because we love both of these fan bases. You guys have been phenomenal all year long. And when we saw this game come up, we said, I don't care what the records are. I don't care if any of them are absolutely terrible. Neither one of them are. Both of them 7-3 on the year. K-State is 5-2. Kansas coming off that loss. They're 4-3 on the season in the conference. This is a rivalry game. This is for the state of Kansas. Fresh will have some great insight of what the rivalry is called and all of that stuff there. But this game is played in Lawrence, Kansas, so the Jayhawks are going to be a home team. At time of record, though, K-State is a 8-point road favorite at this time. That makes me real leery right there. Over-under set at 55.5. Fresh, we're kind of waiting like everyone else. Is Jason Bean going to play in this game for Jayhawks? If he plays, my opinion kind of shifts. If he doesn't play, I'm getting nervous for the Jayhawks here. What say you?
Yep. Folks, in case you weren't aware, hope if you're one of the fans of both these teams, you probably are, but anyone out there just in general. So Jason Bean had been started for the majority of the year with Jalen Daniels dealing with some injuries, and he was knocked out in the first quarter versus Texas Tech. Right now, there's no word if he is active, if he's healthy, or what his status is for this weekend. So I think that's where the whole line of 8.5. Obviously, K-State's been a pretty solid football team all year, but in a rivalry game, that's pretty significant. So that tends to lean in my direction that the status of the quarterback is still up in the air, and nothing's really truly been defined. Um, who knows if Daniels is even healthy enough to play? He played 3 games. Maybe he's going to sit the rest of the year out, red shirt, get himself fully healthy. Obviously, we don't get injury reports in college, so we have no clue what is going to go on right now and what Lance Leipold is thinking there for the Jayhawks on that offensive side of the football. I do know, though, at the end of the day, whether it's going to be Jason Bean, Jalen Daniels, or a freshman Cole Ballard who played last week versus Texas Tech, running back Devin Neal is going to have to be the focal point of the offense. Left, right, up, down, north, south, east, west, whatever direction you want to get in the football, he needs to get it and get it often and early to be successful for Kansas, to be in this football game, to have a shooting shot. Because K-State with Will Howard and DJ Giddens, they are a well-oiled and disciplined machine from that side of the football, and they are able to move the ball when they want to and score. K-State, they have been known under Chris Kleiman as a very physical football team. They're going to run the football and play action off of that. Will Howard has been definitely in the mix. He's been in and out of the lineup. They've gone with multiple quarterbacks at times, but I think he's still the veteran, wily guy who gives them some of that stability at quarterback, in my opinion. But we'll see. They mix and match all season. We'll see what happens when they get to this ball game. But there's a lot of unknown question marks when it comes to the majority of the snaps for both teams for the quarterback spot. K-State's offensive line, very solid. They run the ball very well. They open up. They protect the quarterback. They're not going to put 4 receivers in the field. They're going to guide themselves down, matriculate the ball, maintain down distance, and then defensively be very physical and tackle well. They have had a couple clunkers, like the Oklahoma State game. I think that we all thought that was a clunker when they lost in Stillwater, excuse me. But that turned out to be Oklahoma State being a pretty good football team. For this team, they tackle well defensively. They are very assignment based, and they are not going to be confused or deceived by the offense. They're going to be on point, on play, on script, and making things happen defensively. Kansas's defense is where they've been much more up and down throughout the year. Had a lot of gaps. Their offense has been able to keep them in football games, and that's kind of where this entire football game comes down to it. I think K-State has better defense than Kansas. Kansas has some more amazing playmakers if Daniels or Bean are playing at quarterback, pairing that with Neal at running back. But if one of them is out, the dynamic of that offense is definitely downgraded and swings much more in the favor of Kansas State. Rivalry games, crazy things happen. Sunflower State Showdown, there's a lot of things that happen here where K-State's dominated for a long time. This game being in Lawrence, I think it adds a little extra boost for the Kansas Jayhawks. It I want to say Kansas has it, but there's an extra little incentive there for K-State. Technically, they are still alive in the Big 12 race to defend their title with a win. It'd be a long shot to get to the title game. They would need Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Iowa State at least all lose at least one more ball game to get there, but they're still technically mathematically alive. And I think that gives them a little extra boost. Kansas State in a 34-31, 37-30 ball game. It's going to be a very entertaining 3:30 kickoff. But I think Kansas State has just enough to keep them going, especially with the unknown situations the quarterback side for Kansas. Jayhawks, they put up a valiant effort, but the Wildcats get it done and keep their hopes of defending their Big 12 title for another week still alive.
Yeah, Fresh. This is referred to as the Sunflower Showdown. I love it. The Sunflower Showdown. It is. Started playing back all the way back in 1902. It has been played every single year since 1911. It is the fourth oldest active rivalry game in college football. Back in the day, they used to give out the Peace Pack Trophy in this game, which is a miniature bronze goalpost. All this is according to the internet here. So hopefully the internet's right on this stuff. Because,
you never know.
All these things, it's interesting. Fresh, I'm excited for this game. I think that everyone's going to focus on Will Howard. I think people are going to, right now, I did find Leopold during his press conference right now. He didn't really say Bean would play. He is optimistic that early this week that Jason Bean will be able to play in this game. It didn't sound like it's a ringing endorsement, but, hopefully this kid does get to play. This game's going to come down to the running backs. Which running back is going to have a day for them? Devin Neal, with Jason Bean going out last weekend, 137 yards and a touchdown last week. He's got 10 scores on the year. He's been a nice running back for them, for Kansas. Really impressive. And then you take a look at DJ Gittens over at Kansas State. He was the spellback last year. We saw a little bit out of him. People were really you kind of get excited about him because he averaged 5.8 yards a carry last year. And this year he's averaging 6 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns on the year. He is closing in on 1,000 yards rushing. He has a big game for this week. I think that he could really, cross that threshold there. The thing that Kansas has got to be careful about, they got to limit the mistakes. K-State's defense, very opportunistic. They get some turnovers. They turn the football. They get some interceptions. Jacob Parrish has got 3 on the year. He's on the outside there. Will lead the third. He's got a couple interceptions as well. That secondary can flock to the ball. They can get after it as well. As for Kansas, though, man, it really is going to come down to me. For me, is the quarterback. I know that the offensive line is solid over there. They got a good defensive lineman in Austin Booker. Hopefully, he is ready and raring to go in the Sunflower Showdown. He had a nice game against Texas Tech, but he didn't have that dominant game. They may need a little bit more out of him. But like I said, this game is going to come down to the running backs. It's going to come down to Jason Bean. If Kansas has their full health of players, I'll take Kansas in those points. Give me 8 at home. And if I have my quarterback. If I don't have my quarterback, I'm getting a little bit nervous. But I really do like this team a lot. I like both of these teams. I think that this is going to be just a fun football game to watch. Just get your popcorn ready. It's a night game in Lawrence, 7 o'clock kick. So it's going to get real funky like a monkey, even though we're not down Fort Worth there, Fresh. So I don't know. I got to know. I'm watching that game. I'm watching that line, and I'm keep my ear to the ground of whether or not Bean's playing. Bean plays, give me the Jayhawks. Bean doesn't play, give me K-State.
I think either way, we're gonna have a lot of exciting football. Pads are gonna be popping on Saturday night.
Yeah, Fresh. I could see the Sunflower Showdown. It's so respected amongst school children in there that everyone on Friday wears the little kids sunflower pageantry heads on it and Sunflower Showdown. All right.
I'm not sure about that, but I think that'd be pretty fun if they did.
Things that go through my head while we're recording these things and say those things. Most of the time, my filter catches those things. So